All right, so we got the 1102 spoilers, and this is like the official end of the flashback. I know that I said in the previous chapter that I thought that was the end because it seemed like it would have been a great time to end it because it already felt a couple chapters too long at that point. But no, this is the official ending of the flashback. Then we are finally coming back to Egghead next week. I'm pretty sure, because the jump chapter that is supposed to be released, I think like the second week of January or something, is going to leak super early. So we're going to get it next week. And then after that, I think there's going to be like 2 weeks where there'll be no spoilers until it, catches up to the official release of the actual chapter 1103. But anyway, coming off of the previous chapter, we saw that Kuma had discovered Luffy was the son of Dragon and where he lived in Fuchsia Village and all that stuff. And we also found out that Bonnie, who was being held captive back at Sorbet Kingdom by that CP8 agent, was taking Kuma's letters that he was writing to her and like throwing them out so to make her think that he didn't care about her or whatever. And we saw that the people who were also taking care of Connie, like the actual Sorbet Kingdom people, realized what was going on with CP8, and they were like, yeah, we got to get Bonnie out of here. So they like arranged this ship to get her off of the island until the CP8 agent Alpha found out and went after Bonnie. And that's when we saw that Bonnie could use Distorted Future to make herself like Nika, where she gets like this giant Gear 3-esque fist and just knocked Alpha out, and then eventually went on to become Jewelry Bonnie the Supernova. So now coming into this chapter, it focuses on Kuma's life and displays Kuma's view of the events at Thriller Bark, Sabaody, and the Summit War, amongst others. We also see Kuma saying that Luffy is the one who will save the world, but he's come too early, before he sends Luffy and his group flying. So yeah, I guess this needed to be addressed. The connecting tissue of Kuma observing Luffy and his crew, because now that we know that Kuma knew that not only was Luffy Dragon's son, but he also knew about the Nika stuff as well. Yep, this whole time. Also, still interesting that he decided to send Luffy to Amazon Lily and maybe not to Dragon. I mean, I guess it makes sense because Dragon's like, yeah, a child is a parent's weakness. You're gonna get me killed or whatever. But, like I've said before, I think that further confirms that Luffy's mother was the previous empress of Amazon Lily, but how he figured that out, who knows. He gets around pretty quick with his fruit powers. He was able to deduce that Luffy was Dragon's son, kind of like low-key investigating him, so I guess he could have figured it out. Same thing with Luffy's mom. Vegapunk is against erasing Kuma's personality fully, but Kuma follows through with it because he made his peace. Vegapunk decides to put Kuma's memories into the Paw Paw bubble we saw in Egghead before. So this explains that, and these memories, or it's almost like his personality, I guess, at this point, right? Because, it says against erasing Kuma's personality fully. I guess it will come back into play, because why wouldn't it? I don't know if Bonnie fully absorbed it and like has all of Kuma's memories now, and that's just the end of it. But part of me thinks that there has to be like a Kuma clone, right? Or something like that, because he was able to clone Miss Buckingham Stussy and has like a perfect clone of her in Stussy. We even saw her in the flashback in the previous chapter. So why can't he just clone Kuma, then put his memories back in him, and it's like he's just Kuma again? I know that seems too good to be true, but also the current Kuma who went to Mary Joie after getting rescued by the Revolutionary Army and started doing whatever he was doing, he left, and we didn't see where he went. So it's very possible that he's going to come back to Egghead now, and I'll get more into that, but either he gets his memories back or the ancient robot gets his memories or something. I know that's also a theory that was floating around, but we also saw the ancient robot like seemingly awakening before it cut away from Egghead completely. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Private Internet Access. Private Internet Access is a virtual private network, or a VPN for short, which hides your IP address and safeguards your internet connection through an encrypted tunnel. And believe it or not, Private Internet Access also provides a tool that can help anime fans. And I'll get more into that later, but Private Internet Access is also a tool that helps you with your everyday life. Because whenever you connect to the internet on a public Wi-Fi network, your data is at risk of being stolen. That's why Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection through their world-class server infrastructure, which makes your information shielded and bulletproof. Because earlier this year, there was a huge T-Mobile data breach where customers noticed that upon logging into their T-Mobile app, that they were seeing other customers' information being displayed instead of their own. This meant that their address, credit card information, and purchase history was exposed to the public. You can also now use one private internet access subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices at the same time. But that's not all, because private internet access also allows you to access region-restricted content from all over the world. Guys, we all love anime on this channel, and streaming services are notorious for region blocking certain anime. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, because private internet access helps you overcome these restrictions by giving you the option to change your IP address to one of their 84 countries to choose from, as well as all 50 US states, allowing you to gain access to websites and services that are only available in those locations. The holiday season is also the best time for private internet access, because if you simply just switch your IP to Japan and then go on Netflix, you've unlocked tons of content that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get, or you would have to go through like tons of other streaming services for. Not to mention, you're also getting all the latest episodes of these great series. So guys, you can get private internet access by clicking my link in the description, and by doing that, you're also going to get an 83% discount on private internet access. That's just $2.03 a month, and you'll also get 4 extra months completely free. Thanks guys. Kuma gave Vegapunk a final message to deliver to Bonnie. Vegapunk should tell her happy 10th birthday from Kuma. At the end of the chapter, the flashback is over, and we return to the present with Bonnie crying at the memories. So yeah, now we're coming back to where we left off. I think it was like chapter 1095, right? And we saw Saturn holding up Bonnie, instructing the Marines to like pretty much shoot her in the head. And before they were able to shoot, we saw her like closing her eyes. Then we hear her like saying like, will he come and free me too? Referring to Nika. So I guess this means that Kuma is going to show up at this point. Like the current cyborg autopilot Kuma. And then I guess whatever he does will save Bonnie from this situation. And then I guess Luffy might wake up, or maybe he doesn't. Because, you know, he passed out after defeating Kizaru. Was almost actually killed by Saturn in this sequence. Maybe Dragon shows up too. I talked about this with Sai in a collab that we made. That would just be too good too, right? But also we can't forget about the Blackbeard pirates that are like on their way to the island. I don't know if it is like literally Blackbeard himself, but it's probably like Lafitte and Katarina Devon. I think they're the 2 Blackbeard pirates that are unaccounted for at this point, so they might be there and they're gonna do something. I mean, they might take the researchers who are escaping Egghead at the moment, but there needs to be more of what they do, because something crazy is going to happen. Because remember, like the original narration that we got when they cut away from Egghead for the first time was like, the events that happened changed the world forever, shocked the world, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but either Saturn straight up dies, or Kizaru dies, or someone dies, or something crazy like that happens. But let me know what you think about this in the comments, and if you liked it, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.